Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, scoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. But, well, not per usual, I am literally here with Robert Karplus, W_creative_. Robert, we meet in person for the first time in like an hour, 40 minutes ago.
We are here. We are live at the beautiful Bellagio pool. It is the Friday before Mania, and Vegas unseasonably cold.
It's a little chilly out here.
Yeah. So Dom is dressed inappropriate for the weather right now. It's 62 degrees here today. Like WrestleMania is white hot, but the weather not so much. So we'll say hi to some of the folks joining us live. Hopefully the audio sounds good. We're using fancy ass mics, but they were set up by Dom. So there's an 80% chance they're not even on.
There could be a very good dang and Dom happening right now.
Yes. So if someone's writing a comment at the bottom, let's look at the comment at the bottom. Make sure people can hear us. All right, getting nothing. We'll say hi to some of the folks here. Scroll up to the top. Johnny Disco says, "Happy WrestleMania weekend, R&I. The build may not have been the greatest, but still think the show is going to be great. We're going to dig into it today."
Yes.
Next up, Joseph Wade Walters. "Good morning, rumor heads. Have a great time in Vegas." I'm up at the table, so doing pretty good now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm down.
That doesn't shock me. Dom went to Vegas. The weather got nice, so damn it, Dom, stay in Vegas for a bit. I guess what's nice weather in Pittsburgh?
Like 60?
Slightly less smoggy.
60 and
Devin Dowling says, "Ayo." And Johnny Disco, "How's the Wi-Fi at Bellagio pool?" It seems to be working just fine. We are here. We are fired up. Ron Ward, "My kingdom for a jacket lady run-in. Bonus points if she falls in the pool." It is jacket weather.
It is. It
so there may be a jacket. And Nonprofit 87 confirms. Sounds great.
Awesome. Good.
So
we're good to go then.
We sound great. We've got a great show lined up for you today. This is the big WrestleMania preview. As much as I want to dig into the disastrous WWE PR week that they've had, this might be the worst week in the history of WWE PR.
Talk about it a little bit.
Sure. So you got Roman Reigns, main event of night one. In an interview with Vanity Fair, volunteering some information that's not at all remotely pertinent or necessary. Number one, talking about how he's looking to leave in the next year or two, and he's going to go focus 100% on Hollywood, which means he's a lame duck character on WWE programming, even though he's already a part-timer. Then, in that same interview, he chooses to come out in support of Donald Trump.
I didn't know that. I didn't know any of this.
So the thing about that is most of the active wrestlers have been very quiet about where their affiliation aligns. So we know, obviously, Hogan, very vocal about his position. Undertaker, slightly muted but somewhat vocal. Hunter, we know where he's at. Foley, we know where he stands. But as a lot of the active wrestlers, be it John Cena or Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, none of them don't really know where they align because they want to be blank slates. They want to be accessible to everybody. So the fact that Roman chose this week, going into one of the biggest manias ever, to stake his position as far as Trump is concerned, kind of an odd choice.
Yeah, so this is news to me. I was not aware of this. And especially Trump's a polarizing figure, obviously. People really like him or really don't like him. And to go into that as one of your top baby faces, it definitely sets a different kind of tone. And how I'm curious too, Roman doesn't get this derogative, but does you think there's a protocol in place where a lot of these younger talents don't say anything politically?
Yeah, you don't want to do anything that's necessarily going to ostracize you one way or the other. The challenge has become these guys do a lot of interviews. They sit down with a lot of different outlets, large outlets, small outlets, and everything winds up getting covered. So they have to keep their guard up 24/7. This is where the John Cena quote comes in. "I don't care who hears it. I love Vince. I'm not downplaying anything that needs to be decided or allegations of any kind, but when I love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. I know people are going to be angry about that, but they can put their values on my relationship, but they can't put their values on my relationship with someone I love." Again, probably not the week that I would have had the main eventer of night two come out and profess his undying love and adulation for a man who currently stands accused of a lot of anti-sexual harassment claims as well as human trafficking claims. So, love or not, I probably would not have done that if I were John. And again, John Cena's usually a pretty savvy guy, so I don't know what's in the water. I don't know if this is them trying to mess with a little bit of a work shootness to we want to make sure both these guys get food, but this ain't the way to do it, dude. But that being said, we are going to get quickly into the preview. We got 25 minutes to give you the world of WrestleMania.
That's correct,
Two
Robert.
nights of it. I'll let you pull up the
All right,
gimmick.
let's take a look at the whole
Oh,
card.
you got
here.
it all
We've got
set
the
up.
whole setup
This is
going on.
impressive.
All right, where do we want to start on the WrestleMania Night 1 match card? Robert, you just want to go in the way?
Go in the order you've got posted up there, my man.
Okay, we got the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Gunther, the champion, defending his championship against Yeet It Up, Jey Uso.
If Jey Uso loses, he's absolutely dead in the water.
Mhm.
Like there's no way he can survive this kind of a build and lose and continue. There's not a compelling story. There's not a pivot. There's nothing. They booked themselves into a situation where it has to be Jey Uso to win the title here. They're not going to jeopardize the merchandise sales that they're getting from Jey. So Gunther's going to have to be a team player and take the L, and he'll get another bite of that apple at some point in time.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jey Uso's got to win this. I think that the momentum's been behind him. The marketing machine's been behind him. Gunther's been on, I think, a really pretty credible darn run for championship reign. I know it hasn't been promoted the best way, but I think he carries himself as a champion. So he can get back to that, too, at another point in time. So
I also think that there's more value in Jey Uso being world champion, and we'll get to that in a minute.
we have Rey Mysterio taking on El Grande Americano. Do you think Chad Gable will be in a Grande Americano?
I got my
corner?
my Grande Americano
Ooh,
right
you do?
here. I do. It's delicious. I don't think that we're going to see Gable, unfortunately, on this show. Look, this is one of those matches where the logic behind it is we want to put something on the card that's going to be fun, that's going to be goofy, that's going to spark whatever kind of interest. But deep down, it's going to potentially be one of the best matches of the weekend. I think that while there's an incentive to let Grande win, the idea that he's been cheating a lot over the last few weeks and knowing Ray's proclivity for pulling out the Eddie Guerrero stuff, I think we're going to see a little of the Eddie lie, cheat, and steal, and Ray's going to get the win. My guess, Grande puts the medal in the mask, jumps, Ray moves, Grande knocks himself out. 1, 2, 3. You still can preserve the gimmick a little bit, or unmask him and let Gable turn into a killer again.
I think too that Rey Mysterio's kind of partaken the Undertaker mantle in regards to, hey, who's going to face Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania? Maybe now you can kind of get that identity a little bit, and so him, getting a win makes plenty of sense. I think it's a good happy moment for WrestleMania, and plus it gets Chad or Grande Americano. Sorry,
come on, dude.
Jeez,
usually I'm wearing my cape. I actually am wearing my Chubby shirt right now. When they're a proud sponsor of our podcast, we rock it. Otherwise, Dom's wearing the Chubby shorts. We're not showing them. We're not showing them. Mm-mm. Don't do that under the table. It looks weird on the internet.
They're really short.
World Tag Team title match.
We got the War Raiders, the champions, taking on the New Day. Will the New Day rock the War Raiders, Robert?
So I've seen a lot of people suggest that Big E is somehow going to interfere in this. I don't think that's what we're going to get here. I think we're going to get New Day winning the tag titles. They need to further solidify this heel turn, and the door then becomes open for Big E to find a new stable, for him to manage to go after the New Day, and that's the story you can tell going forward. So I think that the War Raiders again are just sort of a placeholder for the tag titles, and we're going to get a wonderful New Day moment. I'll be booing my lungs out for my good friend Xavier Woods.
Rightfully so. Yeah, no, they should do this because I mean their whole angle so far has kind of been underplayed a lot, I would say, on television and everything. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I think this is a way to kind of get a good rebound. Start off at WrestleMania and let's get this heel faction cooking a little bit again. So let's see, Robert. Up next we have
Jade Cargill and Naomi.
What do you think of Naomi's heel turn? What do you think is going to happen to this?
I think this is part of a larger story that we're going to be getting. So I think you need a little bit of the phrase that they like to use a lot and stolen from Ren and Stimpy is happy, happy, joy, joy. That was always a Pritchard-ism, even though it's a Ren and Stimpy-ism. The idea is you got to give fans some kind of positive, happy moment. So obviously the Jey Uso moment is going to be a big happy moment. Jade was almost murdered by Naomi. She's got to get revenge. Otherwise, where is she going as a character? And all due respect to Naomi, who's great, Jade is more valuable too. So if you're going to get one match out of this, because you never know what's going to happen otherwise, you got to get the win. You got to finish the story here.
Yeah, Naomi's been enhanced. Her heel turn, it gives her a fresh new coat of paint, or paint of coat, if you will.
No, we've had enough Bruce. There's enough Bruce. Like the fact that I'm in the same town as Pritchard.
That's true.
I haven't seen him yet. I was at In-N-Out Burger yesterday. I just kind of assumed I'd see him like passed out in the doorway, just covered in in animal sauce.
Dang, I want to see that now. Yeah, but
no,
I'm with
no
you.
one wants to see that. What's next on the card? We're flying.
We are
doing
cruising.
great here. I love it.
United States Championship, LA Knight, the champ, going up against Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Is this a chance to put the title on Jacob, or do you think this is a chance to just further a story with Jacob and his tension with the bloodline?
No, this is Jacob Fatu's to win. They love to have those little history moments at Mania, especially when it's a guy that they know they're going to be strapping the rocket to for the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have. It's a popular phrase across the board, but Pat McAfee just started using it on TV, which is you want your documentary moments.
Yeah.
You want those moments where Jacob Fatu's first Mania, he goes and wins a title. LA Knight again can survive. He's someone that you could elevate him up the card if need be and let him go for another world title run opportunity, what have you. Or you can do a rematch down the road. But I think Jacob needs to win, and you need Solo to further that resentment until eventually it spills over. Now is not the time to turn Jacob heel. I think he's very much like Ron Breakker, where he's not a babyface, he's not a heel, he's just a monster, no matter who you put him up against. So let that build a little bit.
So you mean don't turn Jacob babyface?
I would not turn Jacob babyface.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I think you can create some good stuff on that, and yeah, I think that's a good history-making moment, especially for big stars.
Especially because if you turn Jacob babyface right now, given the landscape of SmackDown, you're trying to build Phoenix as a new top babyface. You're trying to build LA Knight as one of your top babyfaces. Obviously, there's the Cody of it all at the top of the card. It's not, you don't need Jacob Fatu as a babyface right now. So let him get his footing a little bit, let him be his own man as champion, and then kind of move on from there.
Yeah, there's plenty to go with that. Plenty to go. All right. WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Ooh, that tension is high. That tension is high, Robert. What do you see happening here?
I think Charlotte's worked herself into winning this title.
How about that?
I think that there's enough real life heat, real life animosity, real life frustration with what we have seen from Charlotte. The crowd hates her, whether it's the real hate or the X-Pac hate or the character hate, whatever it may be. The fact of the matter is, Charlotte Flair right now has this nuclear level of heat that her beating Tiffany Stratton makes sense. It also makes Jade Cargill winning make a lot of sense because you can get to a Jade Charlotte match in a month or two. Now, Tiffany is another one who's not really a great babyface. Her best gimmick is as a heel, and you're like, well, what is she going to do after this? We haven't seen Nia Jax in a little while. And Nia does have some unfinished business with Tiffany Stratton. So as much as I don't love this being the next steps in the situation, I think that's where this may ultimately wind up for Tiffany. And then Charlotte can go on to deal with Jade.
I kind of like it, Robert. I like this kind of an organic pivot in a certain way where it's just like, yeah, Charlotte's such a huge heel right now. And to your point, like Tiffany's such a better heel. You could get her, have her spoiled grapes or sour grapes and just go in a different angle where she goes against a baby face, and then you have Charlotte go her own route as a top heel too. So
there's a comment here from Zach Amen, going back to what we talked about before. That's interesting. Where he says Big E brings in Trick and Mello as a tag team Raw after Mania. So I think you're half right. When I was thinking about I think that it's a way to bring in Trick Williams, who on the main roster I don't know that they're super bullish on letting him be a single star to debut. But I think they're getting some good heat with Mello and Miz at the moment. So they might not break those guys up. So there'd be Trick and someone else. I don't really know who that other component would be, who that other party is. But I think this may be a vehicle to introduce Trick Williams, marry him to Big E, and let him go feud with New Day. Next up, as I'm just taking over your laptop.
That's fine.
Next up, we got the main event. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Match we really haven't talked a lot about. Haven't hypothesized it all for the last several weeks. I'm in Vegas. Haven't staked my money on what this outcome is going to be.
Nope.
Don, what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of been telegraphed, and it almost makes me want to push against it. But Seth Rollins getting the win here and aligning with Paul Heyman makes a lot of sense. I will pivot, though, and I'll say that CM Punk gets the win, and where there's some more tension going on further down the line.
No, I think you've got to go with Seth and Paul.
Okay.
I think that Seth winning becomes the new foil for Jey Uso. So now you have a new babyface champion in Jey Uso. You've now got a big bad threat in the form of Seth Rollins. You also need a new stable. And I think that Paul bringing in Becky, I've said before, I'd love to see him bring in Braun Breaker and align them with Rollins. That's a night after WrestleMania moment. That's here's the story we're going to be telling for the next several weeks and months. It also opens the door for them to eventually get to Seth and Punk at SummerSlam and have that feel new and different. And you can let Roman take some time off and then come back and challenge for the world title against whoever that may be at SummerSlam, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I don't see night one ending in any way other than Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a compelling case, and I could definitely see them trying to do something with Punk, but also, yeah, that makes just way more sense, and it makes it intriguing moving forward with the new faction. So, all right, let's move on to Sunday night 2. We have the Women's World Championship triple threat: Io Sky taking on Bianca Belair, taking on Rhea Ripley. Where would you go with this one, Robert? Where do you think they're going to?
I think we're getting an Io Sky retention. I think that the story with Bianca and Rhea has broken into a Brett Shawn style rivalry that you can still tell that story while freeing Io up to pursue other challengers. I think that she's going to enhance this match. They did not add Io Sky lightly to this. They put her into this initially because they wanted to reward what she's been doing on Raw, and she's going to make this match better and more compelling. But the fact that Bianca's not going to get one on Rhea, Rhea's not going to get one on Bianca, means that the two of them can go pair off and go do whatever they're going to be doing. I also think that this opens the door for when Jade goes after Charlotte or Bianca to cost Jade and show that her and Naomi have been aligned all along.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I would say Io retains. I think that's the right route they're going to go, and it makes sense for the story, because she's been the quote unquote third wheel, even though she's a champion. So she proves herself, and we move forward with it. So yes. Up next, Robert, we have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Yeah, what are you going to do with this one here?
I see Logan retaining. As someone's emptying the trash behind us, where most of Logan Paul's fans are residing. The fact of the matter is, what you're looking for is to get a great match out of Logan Paul. He's furthering his own legacy, so him scoring some kind of a cheap win over AJ, and then letting Karrion Kross get in AJ's ear, continuing this build of I told you weren't going to get this done. I told you you're not the same guy. Create that sense of doubt so that AJ's put in a position where the only way he can really figure out who he is to go after the world title. He's kind of the default post-Mania guy to go after the championship. So I think that you could get an AJ Styles Jey Uso match at Backlash or something over the summer. I don't really necessarily need to turn him heel, but you can tease it a little bit and play with that. And Logan beating AJ will get a lot of mileage out of that. I think that's a big reveal. He'll start calling himself the phenomenal one. It's great heel heat. And Logan is super valuable to the WWE right now.
And he has been getting great heel heat too. Up until this point, he's been doing really good work. And yeah, I think it just makes a lot of sense to have him get the win in AJ. You can have him even go away for a little bit if you want, Logan, and then AJ kind of carries it. And to your point, furthers that Karrion Kross ripple with it all.
Shout out some of the folks here. Wrestling Oldhead says Robert and Dom together is already bigger than anything that could do at WrestleMania. It's like the Fresh Prince Family Matters crossover scene. It is. I feel like I'm being called out for being bald. And Willie Thornbrew says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the West Coast."
Hey.
It's my second trip to the West Coast in 2 months, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I miss the East Coast. I can't wait to be back where we have proper civilization. And we're going to see the women's tag team title match. There was no pivot there.
No.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Yes. I would go. I think Judgment Day they're on the fractured route. I think if you put the titles on Lyra and Bayley, you can kind of accentuate that, and on top of it, create some tension with Bayley and Lyra as their tag team champions too, and maybe further cool story between those guys. So I say Lyra and Bayley win actually.
I'm going to go the opposite route. I think that it's going to be Liv and Raquel. I agree with where your mind is at, but I think because they've teased the Bayley-Lyra tension, and Bayley has not really done much of anything as a babyface, her value as a heel turning on Lyra is exponentially greater when you realize she can then go after Io. And you can continue to tell that disintegration of damage control. Heel Bailey is a great opponent for Io for the next little while. Liv and Raquel retaining and rubbing it in the faces of other potential members of the Judgment Day is a pretty unique moment. So I'm going to go with them to keep it. There's a lot of women's tag teams that suddenly crept up,
Right.
so I think that they can further this for a little while. But Bailey feeling so lost in the shuffle, she needs something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I definitely do think Bailey's turning heel.
Interesting that Wrestling Old Head said, I'd rather see Lyra turn heel. She'd be it'd be a Hitchcock turn because she'd be an evil bird.
That's right. Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Though I do like that Wrestling Old Head compared to Black Swan. I went goofier. We're surrounded by birds, right?
There's birds like all over the place.
Birds
We're like
all
in an aviary, basically.
We'll show the camera in a minute. Show the pool. It's beautiful.
Maybe we'll get attacked.
I would prefer not, but that's fine. Intercontinental title fatal 4-way, easy for me to say. Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dom.
Yes. All right. So this is an interesting one, Robert. It could go many directions, obviously.
That would be the idea of a 4-way.
That would be
At least 4 outcomes.
Four possible outcomes here. Steiner math needed. What do you think here?
For the longest time, I thought this was going to be Braun Breaker. Now, because of what's going on with Judgment Day, I think it's going to be Dom. I think Dom winning, and Dom and Liv and Raquel having all the gold and Finn having none of it is interesting. The only reason why I'm still a little on the Braun Breaker side is because I could see a Raw after Mania. He's out there, open challenge, boom, here comes Rusev.
Oh, yeah.
But you could also do the same thing with Dom.
That's true, too. Yeah, you could.
Finn bullies him into, you're a fighting champion. Let's do an open challenge with the idea that Finn is going to be the one to call to do it. And for whatever reason, he doesn't make it out there, and we wind up getting Rusev.
That'd be good, too.
God damn, it's almost like some of us know how to book some wrestling.
I'm with you, though, Dom. I'm with you, too.
Yeah, it's a big dumb weekend.
It is.
Speaking of a big dumb weekend, we got a Sin City Street Fight, which is Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. What do you think here? Who do you build up even more after this? This is kind of a coin toss, right?
This is the tough situation. This is definitely a coin toss. The problem right here is neither guy can necessarily afford the loss.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to build up Priest. That's why they moved him to SmackDown to kind of differentiate himself from the Judgment Day. But Drew did lose his Punk feud. And Drew is a guy who's definitely doing them a favor by stepping into this match in the first place, when he feels like he should be going for a world title and has been positioned as such. If Priest wins, he becomes a potential challenger for the world title. If Drew wins, we're probably going to get another match out of this with these guys. But being a street fight, a no-holds-barred match, it feels like we're going to get a definitive end somehow. This is a chance for them to beat the piss out of one another. I almost cursed. We're in Vegas. I forgot. We're
Sin City.
Yeah, that's right. Just for the sake of loyalty and friendship, I'm going to go with Drew.
Okay.
Drew, who's giving me grief for bringing my wife to Mania.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
He's giving you a hard time?
He's giving me a hard time. He's like, you're going to have to go to Cartier and get something nice for her.
Yeah, you definitely got to bring something. Yeah, I'll go with Drew as well, I think. Is this where we could potentially see a big interference, aka a big return of someone? Maybe Rusev does show up in this match and get involved.
I mean, the only intriguing return, it's not even that intriguing of a return, could be Sheamus, who's been complaining that he's had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And maybe the idea is they're going to partner Sheamus and Drew back up and let the two of them tear through folks for a while.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
But again, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But I think these guys are just going to try to beat the piss out of one another and give you a moment. And the last moment of the evening is going to be the undisputed title match, which is Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
All right. Yeah. And what do you think, Robert? We've got plenty of time to talk about it. We will have not seen The Rock since this heel turn. I'm sure he will be involved in some form or fashion, obviously.
Obviously, since we are live, SmackDown has not happened yet.
Yes.
We know that John Cena is scheduled to be at SmackDown. We know that Cody's scheduled to be at SmackDown. We know Rock is in town. We also know Gabriel Iglesias is in town. I saw it on the billboard.
I think Tom Brady is, too.
Yes, Tom Brady is in town.
Yeah.
He is part of the ownership group for the stadium. People who are all like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe Tom Brady's going to go to Mania." It's like, well, yeah, it's his building. This isn't particularly exciting, breaking news. But on the one hand, I've said it on Working Stiff, available now wherever you get podcasts. Tom posted it.
I did. Before I left.
I hope, maybe, possibly. I did check. I looked.
Okay, thank God.
I said
I forgot.
there's going to be a moment where I'm going to get a little choked up seeing John come out for his last Mania. Was there for 21. So on the writing staff when he won his world title against JBL and had that anointed moment. So this feels like the closing of a significant chapter. And then all I'm going to have left essentially of my time there is Orton.
Wow. How about that?
Of active competitors.
How about that?
Which is wild. That's weird. But as far as the finish, I think we're gonna get a lot of Zabata, a lot of Gaga, a lot of nonsense. I would not be shocked if we see Steve Austin at some point. Maybe Austin's the guy who takes out The Rock. And then I've seen people who have hypothesized that this is where we're going to see Seth Rollins align with The Rock. That this is all part of Heyman's master plan.
Oh, see, any of those routes would be interesting.
I don't hate any of it, but I don't see a situation in which Cody is retaining.
Yeah.
I think that John Cena versus Randy Orton next month at Backlash, since they are in St. Louis, it's one last time to do Cena and Orton. How do you not?
How do you?
And it's the chance for you to do it where Randy is the unquestioned babyface and John's the unquestioned heel. Mm-hmm. So I think there's intrigue there. I think you can get to a John Cena Roman Reigns SummerSlam match for one last time. I think every one last time with John defending the title. It's why if Priest wins, you could do a John Cena Damian Priest match at a secondary pay-per-view.
Yeah, sure.
You got to put the title on John. John, I know that John's in all the marketing for the next few months, and Cody is not. I think that's a false flag situation. I think they're just trying to work the internet, but I just don't see a situation where Cody is retaining. And if he does, it's like, what's going to be your interesting story for next month with that?
Right. It's all the thrill of the chase, baby.
It's the thrill. It's the thrill of the chase. It's the thrill of being here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's the thrill of getting to do Rumor and Innuendo with this guy. Don't touch me. Every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative Store ISH X account, the @SE Scoops X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, and on YouTube on ad-free shows, Working Stiff, and Rumor and Innuendo. Dom, we did it. We're here. We got up early. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Unbelievable.
On a non-work day. This is ridiculous, but we're here at the beautiful Bellagio pool. I'm going to go grab myself a pina colada. Ooh. So on behalf of the best co-host of mine that was willing to actually fly out to Las Vegas, Nevada, Dominic D'Angelo, just for this, I'm Robert Harper. Best of luck in yours future endeavors.
Hey, see you Monday, everybody.